Hi everybody, my name is Trinity, and today I am going to be doing the 20 questions book tag. I wasn't tagged, never am, but I'm gonna still keep doing the tags because I enjoy them. I think they're fun, and hopefully you guys think they're fun too. I guess technically the person's video that I watched said if you're watching this, I tag you. So I'll leave their blog down below. Okay, 20 questions, here we go. Question number 1. How many books is too many books in a series? I don't know. I still read the Anita Blake novels. There's 20 of those. I think a good solid number is 10. Just give us 10. 10 is good. 10 might be too much. I don't know. Harry Potter was a good length. Somewhere between 5 and 10. That sounds like a decent amount of time. Okay, question number 2. How do you feel about cliffhangers? Anthony Ryan? I love them. I think that they're fantastic. They give you so much anticipation for the next book. And I really enjoy, I enjoy clean cliffhangers, if that makes sense. I don't want to be completely left on the edge of my seat going, what the heck did I just read? But I do want some anticipation for the next novel. I do like having that sense of, oh my gosh, I need to know what happens next for the next novel. And that being said, I also don't want all of these unanswered questions, and I don't want a ton of stuff to be up in the air. But should the main plot line of the story be finished after the first book? No, doesn't have to be. But let's wrap some things up cleanly before we move on. Otherwise, I'm just going to be frustrated. Joe Abercrombie. Okay, question number 3. Hardcover or paperback? As you can probably see, hardcover. That is because I want my books to stand the test of time. When I moved into this house with my husband, one of my main goals was to have a library. And he told me that if I'm going to have a library, I'm going to need to make an investment into hardcover books and stop buying mass market paperbacks or floppy paperbacks. So that's what I try to do. Do I own mass market paperbacks? Yeah. I really, really like the floppy, soft covered paperbacks. But I had to agree with him. My goal is to have a library where I'm going to store all of my books. So the answer is hardcover. Number 4, favorite book. If you followed me for any amount of time, you're going to know the answer to this question. And I mentioned that you might know the answer to this question, but not my favorite series, because my favorite book of all time is Bloodsong by Anthony Ryan. It's right up here. And I was first introduced to fantasy about 5 years ago. This is probably the 3rd or 4th fantasy series that I picked up, and I was blown away. Does the rest of the series hold up to the first novel? Not quite. It's good, but it doesn't quite hold up to the first novel of the series. That is why the Draconis Memoria is my favorite series, but Bloodsong is my favorite book. My least favorite book of all time? I don't know. There's a lot I DNF, guys. I had a really bad experience it was in 2017. I went through a huge reading slump, and it was because I wanted to be that book blogger who got all the arcs and read all the books and did all the things and contacted all the authors, and I completely overwhelmed myself. And so I burned out hard. I burned out so hard that I didn't pick up another book, like really, like start reading again until 2020. And that was 2017. So almost 3 years. It was kind of 2 years, but oh man, I burnt out hard. And in that time, I didn't like anything I read. I had such a bad time. But that leads to the now, where I'm going to DNF stuff if I don't like it, because I'm not going through that crap again. So, least favorite books, there's so many that I'm just like, it's not worth my time. But Minion by L.A. Banks, I hated that book. It was one of those things that it was written in the vernacular, and it just drove me nuts. Like, I cannot stand reading things written in the vernacular when the vernacular is something I don't connect with. Give me something with a country twang and I will read it and it'll probably make sense. But most of the time when it's written in the vernacular, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, no, I don't like that. So Minion by L.A. Banks. Also, people always suggest L.A. Banks if you like Laurel K. Hamilton. Stop doing that. Okay, the next question. Love triangles, yes or no? I don't know how I feel about love triangles. So sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. When they are all full of angst, and which I guess a love triangle usually is, it kind of depends on the book, I guess. If it's young adult and I'm like, okay, here we go, tropey young adult, sometimes I can still enjoy it. But if it's an adult series and love triangles tend to happen in young adult, and I'm okay with that. Now, if I found it outside of young adult, I'd probably be like, what you trying to do? And if you want to like have a love triangle, just make them poly. I don't know. So there's my answer. Okay, let's see. Number 7, most recent book you couldn't finish. I got Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick on NetGalley, and I don't want to count that one because I finished it. I don't remember like half the book because I was like, come on, get through this. But I did finish that one, so that doesn't count. Life After Life, probably. That would have to be the last. Oh, no. So I was in the middle of doing a reread of 1984. And I just decided I didn't want to read it anymore. I was trying to do it for a Pop Sugar, part of a Pop Sugar challenge, and I just wasn't interested. There were more things. There are more exciting books that I wanted to read, and it was a reread, so I decided that I was done with that. So that's my most recent. Number 8, a book you're currently reading. Oh, hang on. Okay, I'm back. The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. I am loving this book. It is so good. I haven't had a whole lot of time to sit down and do physical reading. Sucks, but I'm loving this book. I am anticipating this is going to be a 5-star read. I'm also reading one that I can't talk about because it's not going to be released until next year, but it's also so good. And so I've also, funny enough, have figured out I really love sci-fi. It wasn't a shocker. I've always liked like Mass Effect, and so that shouldn't surprise me. I really liked Artemis by Andy Weir, so that shouldn't surprise me, but it surprised me when I realized this year or this month that I love sci-fi. Okay, question number 9. The last book you recommended to someone. So my favorite thing to do is to recommend books to people. So I have no idea. Probably Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Haven't actually read it yet, but someone was looking for recommendations for a Camelot video that they're going to be doing, a King Arthur video. And I was like, well, have you read this? Because I've heard it's great, and I'm reading it next month, so why don't you read it with me? I don't think I'm going to do actually read-alongs because I actually, I've committed myself to a Sanderson read-along for next year. I am going to still read The Way of Kings next month, but I committed to a year-long read-along, Sanderson read-along for 2021. So you guys will be hearing a lot about Sanderson over the next year. And I hope you guys enjoy that content too. Okay, question number 10. Oldest book you've read. Okay, so I don't know. You guys might not know this about me, but I have a degree in English literature. And so I've read a lot of like classic stuff. Beowulf. Probably Beowulf. I'm gonna have to go with that because that's the oldest thing I can think of. Newest book you've read. Okay, I'm currently reading The Space Between Worlds, so that doesn't count. Oh, Black Sun by Rebecca Rowan Horace. I had very mixed feelings about that book. It was great in some regards, but I had a moment of the hype killed the book for me because I expected so much from this book. And it was good, but I didn't get the feeling that everybody else got about it. And so initially I rated it a 3.5 star, but after thinking about it, it was good. It was really good, guys. Like I'm one of those people that if you overhype a book, it better be fantastic or it's not worth reading. And so Rebecca Rowan Horace gave it a 4 star. I'd check it out, especially because I want to promote Native authors, but it was good. I just had the hype killed it kind of moment. Number 12, favorite author, Anthony Ryan. It's Anthony Ryan. Everybody knows this about me. It's no surprise. I'm a huge fan of Anthony Ryan. I do also like Kim Harrison, Laurel K. Hamilton, though I'm falling out of love with the Anita series. I'm really liking Leigh Bardugo. She's consistently 4 stars for me, so I count that good. But yeah, Anthony Ryan. Okay, number 13, Buy or Borrow. Bye, guys. So I do also borrow books from the library. I'm kind of both. So if I want to read a book and I'm not sure if I want to own the book, I will borrow it and then buy it if I really like it, or not buy it if I don't like it or don't love it. And like I said before, if I buy a book and I don't love it, I always end up giving it away. Number 14, a book you dislike that everyone loves. I talked about a series that I don't like that everyone loves in my last video. So a book that everyone loves. So a while ago, I read The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, and I gave it a 3 stars. It was okay. I know everybody loves Robin Hobb, and I own most of her books because I really think that I am going to eventually love this story. But The Assassin's Apprentice was boring. I kind of hated it. But I do see myself continuing with the series because I want to know the rest of the story. So while I didn't have that much fun reading the first book, next year I am planning to continue to see if I actually like the rest of the books, because Assassin's Apprentice is not the first Robin Hobb I read. I didn't know much about Robin Hobb other than she releases like trilogies. I didn't realize they were all set in the same world, and I realized I have read one of her lowest rated series in this whole world, which was Dragon Keeper and Dragon Haven, and I liked those. And so that is the thing keeping me wanting to read the rest of the Farseer books. Number 15, bookmarks versus dog ears. Bookmarks, you animals. Why are you dog earing pages? Quit messing up the books. Number 16, a book you can always reread. Harry Potter. I think I do a reread every year. I think I always will. I don't think I'm going to be hyping the books as much as I did before, or talking about this year's reread or that as much. But yeah, every year I probably still will reread Harry Potter. Number 17, can you read with music? No, silence. Now, if there is like I really like the ASMR rooms. Like they have the Ravenclaw common room, or like stuff like that where you can hear like the fireplace crackling and people kind of like mumbling, but there's a little bit of ambient music that I can handle. But if the music has words, no. Number 18, one POV or multiple POVs. My ADHD says one. However, most books I like are multiple POV with a small cast of characters. Please stop putting 6 POVs in a series. Stop. There's more than that sometimes. I don't need that. I don't want that. I hate that. I can't keep track of that. My exceptions to this, the only one I can think of currently is Malice. But stop. It hurts my head and I don't want to read your book. And that makes me sad. Okay. Number 19, do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple sittings? Sometimes I read it in one sitting. Now, it depends on the length of the novel, obviously, and it depends on the genre, obviously, and if it's YA or adult. YA tend to be easier to read. So, usually if it's YA, I read it in a day. A day and a half, maybe. But, yeah, I can read it in one sitting. However, there are obviously books like The Way of Kings you're not going to finish in a day. I can be a fairly fast reader, but sometimes I'm not successful in that either. Okay, and 20. Who am I gonna tag? Anyone who watches this and wants to do it, you are tagged. Bumwa. All right, I hope you guys had fun with this video. I know I did. Come back, like, subscribe. Let's have some more fun times. Bye.